Tournament of Champions. It's Gary Woodland, the leader by 3 shots at the midway point. Roy McIlroy among those tied for second. At the ticket update desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1theticket.com.
Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We are in our 19th year and happy to be here. I'm Harvey Freed. Alongside me, Harry Glanz.
Happy 2019, everybody. Harv, another good year is in the books. And now we look forward to 2019. We'll be getting into the projections for 2019 with our guests.
Talking about a whole bunch of great stuff. We brought in James Lutz from our office. Good morning, James.
Morning, guys.
What's going on? Of course, you brought in some great people. Back with us always, Ian Mason. Ian, you're awesome. Great to see you here.
Thank you.
The voice of Grosse Pointe and a whole bunch of other things. We're going to be diving into all of that.
Nice.
Kevin McClellan.
Did he get elected that for another term?
He
elected him. The voice of Grosse Pointe. That's phenomenal.
Who elected him then?
There you go. Right. Who elected him
I'm
then?
going to title him that for sure. Kevin McClellan on the other side. Cash for your homes.
Yes. Good
One
morning.
of the best house flippers around, really. I love your work. We'll talk all about it. He doesn't care where your house is. He'll buy it. He'll come and take a look at it, primarily based on the east side, but he'll go anywhere in the 5-county areas.
But understand, everybody, it's quality work. It's not, when people take, you use the term house flipper, it just sounds
Yeah.
But his work is great work, first class, quality stuff. We were talking about a property he has in Commerce that I'm sure he'll get into in the show. But you have to understand, when you buy properties, it's not just buying them cheap and selling them cheap. It's buying them, fixing them up, and selling them and making them into nice properties so families can move in and be very successful moving in.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, my goal is with me and my crews is to go in and all you got to do is bring your furniture and hang a TV on the wall and move in.
Right, it's nice.
It makes financing a lot easier also. We got tons to share with you this morning. We also brought in Brooke Bulis came in with the, and hey, Brooke, how's it going over there?
Hi, good. How are you?
There you go. Always great to have new agents, and we're going to talk a little bit about the new agents that are out there. I'm still learning every day. So what's the difference if you're new or if you've been doing this for 25 years? And trust us, Brooke, we talk to plenty of agents and been doing this for centuries. They don't necessarily know what's up. So we'll talk a little bit about all the different nuances in the mortgage and real estate world over the last, really here, I'm going to say over the last 2 to 6 years. It's been really interesting as the market turned from 2007, 9, home values went up. Of course, we had a horrible time digging out of that recession we were in. But, boy, we're way on the other side of that now.
Well, from 2012 through 2018, we went through 7 years of a seller's boom, 7 years of increased property value, 7 years of multiple offers on homes, 7 years of what they said was low inventory on the market. And right now, that is not happening right now. So going into 2019, what can you expect for 2019? A little glimpse into 2019 as we sit here on the 5th of January, 2019, is that you're not going to have, in most situations, those multiple offers. Okay? November and December, and now starting in the small sample size of 2019 for January, you're not running into that. You're not running into multiple offers. Now, granted, there's still going to be hot areas. There's still going to be, desirable homes are going to have 2, maybe 3 offers on it. But in general, the climate out there right now is very affordable. It's a little bit tepid. It's cold outside. It's winter in Michigan, and that's what happens in November, December, January, and February in Michigan in a normalized market. That's just what's going to happen.
There's a lot of hope for spring, don't you think? I mean, historically, the interest rates are still low. I mean, inventory is not unhealthy by any means.
Correct.
And
Hope springs eternal. And
Right.
that's what happens in Michigan in March, April. You see it starting to ramp up. So when people say, well, it's slow, no, it's normal. It's a normal market.
Yeah, I don't think anything's wrong at all.
No.
There's a lot of hope for a hot spring. And at the moment, you got a little bit of inventory to chew through. There's a lot of positive jobs data that came out yesterday. It's twice what was expected. Lowe's announced hiring 65,000 people. I mean, that's a lot of folks who are going to renovate their homes and stay in them and things like that. I think all you saw is an unfortunate convergence of circumstances. Towards the end of the year, everybody wanted to list their house because the prices were so high. And, it'll settle down, and spring should be,
It seemed as if right at the end of summer, like someone turned off the faucet where, there was definitely less buyers out there. The talk of the town was shifting markets, how to make business in this type of industry, but more importantly, buyers and sellers, how will they navigate through these type of times? So,
Well, and that's a normalized market. You cannot have 7 years of a boom and expect, as we say, use the analogy, the faucet staying on high all the time. Right now, it's a
Someone
normalized
turned
market.
off the faucet like I turned off my headphones.
Well, maybe you.
I think.
What did the voice of Grosse Pointe do wrong there?
Harry, though,
We'll get you some new ones, Harry.
You hit the keyword tepid. People are just a little tepid right now.
Yeah.
After winter, are we going to tick up that 5 or 8% that we normally do come February, March, and April? You know, and that we'll see.
And I think we will. I think you're going to see, April, May, June, July, August, like it always is.
But
All right?
it's not going to be. Let's face it. Last spring and summer was so red hot. I put houses on the market, 30 showings in 24 hours and 6 off. I mean, are we going to see that this summer?
All right.
Maybe not. But I tell you what, if you're looking to buy, now is the time.
Yeah, you're on the front lines. See, this is what you do every day. We're in the weeds every single day. We're on the streets every single day. And this is what's going on the street, everybody out there. This is, when you're in it, when you're renovating homes and you're selling homes, when you're a real estate agent and you're on the streets, you get the vibe. And the vibe out there right now is not as crazy as it was. That's the vibe.
If you've been looking to buy a home in the last 8, 12, 18 months or whatever, now is the time to do it. There's a good amount of inventory out there. Days on the market are up. Interest rates are still very low.
Yep.
And it's time to go if you're a buyer right now.
No, it's a great point. We're actually going to talk about a couple new programs out there, too. Well, one of them that's an older program, the MSHDA program through the state of Michigan, is an unbelievable opportunity. And again, it's for our lower to moderate income families here in Southeast Michigan, but it's a great opportunity. There's 2 programs out there now. One is the old-fashioned 7,500, and then they released the Step Forward program 3 months ago. There's still lots of money left. James, I checked it out yesterday. They included another $5 million. The state of Michigan has $10.7 million available for you. It's an individual gift to you of $15,000. It's a quiet second mortgage. We got a lot of details on that in the second half of the show. Listen, you got to tune to 97.1, the Hardcore Mortgage Show. We are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Want to hear from you all week long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always live in the studio, 248-539-9797. You're hearing it, folks. We know about it. Great employment here in Southeast Michigan. Hopefully, some of the layoff information that we heard earlier a couple months ago about GM and stuff, hopefully that'll settle things down. With a little bit of continued wage increase as the U.S. economy is predicted to grow about 3 to 5%. Harry, housing starts are still extremely strong. We're seeing it here in Southeast Michigan. And there's a little bit of uncertainty out there, but there's a strong demand for housing here in Southeast Michigan. So again, the real estate agents are telling you, if you're thinking about selling a home, this could be a great little window of opportunity where you get your house on the marketplace and you're getting some really strong buyers out there, are serious buyers, and are looking to get in there before the mad rush of the spring.
Yeah, I don't think that the rate, and he alluded to the rates. Rates right now are still, when you say historic lows, if you take a look at the 52-year history of mortgage interest rates, they're very, very low. And when you talk about when you can get in the high 4s, the low to mid 5s, you're talking about the interest rates on a 15-year fixed in 1966 was 4.25%. Right now, on a 15-year fixed, you can get for 4.25%. So, and that's, we've been spoiled. We've been spoiled. I remember when rates were 3.5 on a 30-year fixed, and we were calling people and telling them they should consolidate debt, pay off that toxic debt, you get 3.5 on a 30-year fix. They said, well, we think rates are going lower. Well, where can they go from 3.5?
Yeah.
So it's just not right. So if you're at 4.75 to 5.5 right now, you're still in the range of low. When they go to 10, call me up and let me know when they go to 10.
Then they might be a little high.
Because when we started in the mortgage industry, and you're talking about 30 years ago, and a little earlier than that, 1988, let's say, rates were at 12.5%, 13%. And we said if rates went to 10, that would be great. And if they went under 10 to 9, that would be phenomenal. Well, we're sitting here right now at 5%.
Yeah.
So
Harry, do you mind taking a minute and clarifying what happened over recent weeks with the increase in the Fed rate and before that the increase in the mortgage rate and how those two correlate?
Well, what happens is when the Federal Reserve comes out and they say they're going to lay out a plan, they're going to raise rates 4 times in 2018, and then they have another plan to raise rates 3 or 4 times in 2019, the market gets jittery, and then the securities they go a little crazy. The secondary markets, the securities in the markets, and the stock market all go ahead and they act according to what we call rumor and innuendo. So when there's talk in the market, then where the money goes, and this is about 2 seconds because everybody's turning off the radio because this is so boring.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm not saying to you. So what happens is money flees to where you can make money. So if the stock market is going gangbusters, they take money out of the bond market causing rates to go up, and they flood the stock market with the money. Now, bad news in our industry for mortgage interest rates, if there was unemployment running rampant, if there was disastrous events happening overseas,
geopolitical events.
What you'll see is the money will flow back into the bond market because it's safer. All right,
That is incredibly boring. My point was a lot of people think that
it is boring.
A lot of people think that there were two large hikes recently. We had a mortgage hike originally. There
weren't two large hikes, but people get crazy when they hear interest rates going up. So what happens is they raised it a quarter and a quarter, so they raised it a half within the last two hikes.
Right.
And that doesn't necessarily correlate to mortgage interest rates, but it somehow always does, but it doesn't necessarily have to. And what's going on for 2019, they've kind of rolled back their expectations. They said they were going to raise it 3 to 4 times. Now there's talk about raising it 0 times. But my prediction is because the Fed is very conservative. We have a president that is tweeting and talking and saying the Fed's doing the wrong thing, and the Fed does not want to appear to act in concert with the president because the Fed's supposed to be an independent body.
Check and balance, yeah.
So what happens is, and we're bored right now, we're talking about this, is that the Fed is saying they might not raise interest rates at all next year. So that's where it's going right now.
All right, I'll tell you what, keep the radio tuned down here. When we come back, we're going to show you how to buy a house. Buyers, sellers, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. Alongside me, Harry Glantz. I can almost hear you, Harry. There we go.
Hit that button. Hi, guys. I know I'm a rookie now. I'm glad to be back, Harb. Took off a couple of weeks, had a couple weddings. You know how that works. And you're holding down the fort, doing a great job.
Meeting some people, shaking hands, spreading the good word.
Wishing everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, all that stuff. This is our second to last show of the year. Do you know that? We're on next week. Then we take off for the holiday.
And then we're going to
come back in the new year.
2019. Look what we bring in. Rosemary Ashley from Capital Mortgage. Hey, Rosemary.
Good morning, everybody. Glad to be here on this beautiful day.
Great to have you. We got tons of energy here. And you brought in your friend Flo Apke from Real Living Key Realty in St. Clair Shores. It's a great office. Hey, Flo, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Flo,
do you realize, Harvey, in this studio right now, in the mortgage and real estate industry, we have over 135 years of mortgage and real estate experience.
You know, he talks about us.
That's right.
Do you understand
that means
that?
we're all old, right?
Hey, you can say we're old or not. I'm just saying we're experienced. This is experienced stuff, and we learn new things every day.
Exactly.
The best thing about being in mortgages and real estate and investing is that there's always something new you can learn each and every day.
Yeah, Flo's the expert over there on the east side for sure, all up and down Lake St. Clair, Grosse Points, all of the Grosse Points, Shores, Woods, Village, Harperwood, St. Clair Shores, if I'm missing one, Harrison Township, all the way up and down that St. Clair County area, the St. Clair River, we should say.
Thank you. Yeah, I usually sell real estate out through Macomb County. Sometimes I'll even go out farther.
Oh, good.
If a client requests. I've been known to go out to China Township, St. Clair sometimes too.
Yeah.
And for the record, you've been doing this how many years?
I started full-time in 1987.
Beautiful. There you go.
I got my broker's license in 1992, so I've been full-time since
I'm going to
1987.
say it's like 32 or 30-something
It's a long
years.
time,
Lots of information to share with you. Again, it's great to have you here.
Thank
We're
you.
going to be talking about buying and selling real estate. Of course, you can call Capital Mortgage all morning long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Get that strong approval letter. We always touch on the approval letters, negotiation. Flo, you bring a lot to the table, so we'll talk about some strategies even for buyers and sellers. And what do you see lately, Flo? As you know, the last couple months we've been talking about the shift. It's literally been since about the end of September.
Correct.
Where we feel it. We literally felt as if there was just, and the numbers show, less foot traffic, less showings on all your listings. What do you see is going on the east side, and how do you feel the trend's going to continue throughout the winter?
Well, during the last year, the rates have gone up a few times, which I think always affects the market. And always takes a few people out of the game, or maybe has people thinking I should stay put for a little bit. Not necessarily really the case, because rates are really low right now, still compared to when I was young. The first interest rate that I got when I bought my first house was 14%. And we were excited about that because they were higher than that. So 5-6% interest, it's not a high rate. And so it shouldn't worry anybody at all.
You know, I think that you bring up an excellent point. When you take a look at rates, rates are a long-term play. Okay, if
The Ticket with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere. 97.1 The Ticket.
All right, welcome back to the show. 9/17. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. You can find us at Capital all week long at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always taking your calls here live in the studio at 248-539-9797. When we go off calls here, I wonder if my guy behind the board there, you're going to hit this button? Yeah. We're going to go to him. Hey, Tim. Good morning. Our first call for 2019. What's happening?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, how you doing? We have the opportunity where we're going to consider relocation, and one of the things we're looking to do is put our house up for sale. Any guidance or thoughts on when the best time to put the house up on the market is? We've got a year before we actually have to sell it, but we're thinking about the spring and all that kind of stuff coming up.
If you're that flexible, there's no doubt you should consider April 1st, May 1st, and be 100% ready to go and do it on time. But, I mean, there's a lot of people out there always ask, it's wintertime, will a house sell? Is it bad? The reality of it is, if you look at the data, there's about a 30% difference from the peak of the market to the low point in the market annually. So the reality of it is, if 100 homes sold in June, then 70 sold in February. So it's not that drastically different, but given the option, sure, your biggest punch in the market's going to be, April through May, roughly.
April through May. Great.
Hey, Tim, what city are you in? Curious, what city do you live in?
I'm in Huntington Woods.
Oh, fantastic. You got a hot market there. They're going to be fighting over your house if you put it up in the springtime.
Yeah, Huntington Woods throughout time has always been a great,
Thanks for the call,
great
Tim.
market.
Cash for Homes, Kevin's got something on his mind here.
I just want to tell, hey, Tim, I mean, a word of advice for me to maximize that top dollar. Get a list of things, like the top 5 or 10 things that have to be done on the house. Like, don't look past the peeling paint on the garage, or if you're missing a little piece of trim on a door. Buyers right now won't look past that, and you're going to get, a 10 times return on your dollar. So if you got to put $1,000 or $2,000 in the home, you're going to get $10,000 or $15,000 back if it's A1 in top condition and the nicest house in the area. So think of that when you're ready to list the home as well.
There's no question. Go ahead, Tim.
The sad part is we've only had it for about 2 years, and we redid the whole inside. So
you should be in good shape. Should be in good shape. Pack away some of the extras. Make sure you can see as much base molding and corners in the house so it looks as big as possible, and you have the longest lines of sight. If the kids or the dogs have
if you bought it 2 years ago in Huntington Woods and redid it, you should be in phenomenal shape.
Well, like with your homes, I mean, they're pristine.
Thanks a lot, Tim, for the call.
Chips in the molding and this and that, and nobody walks in and thinks anything down.
Hey, we talked about it earlier in the show. Of course, Kevin, you do we call it house flipping and everything, but it's more than that. A lot of people out there have bought homes and sort of put some cosmetic touches on homes, but that's different than what you go in. I mean, you're going in and putting sometimes what it needs. Again, if it needs a heating cooling system, if it needs brand new insulation, a new roof, it's the heavy duty stuff. And also, you're not putting in the old school Formica. You're going after it with the newer products that are out there, and that's what's very appealing to these buyers out there. So anyone out there. We talked about, you heard Kevin say it. Quartz is one of the new materials that people are using. Stick with the times. Get the people. Find out the color schemes. Get the top-notch decorators involved. We got home staging involved. All of those things are going to maximize the dollars you get for your house. Again, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Show, 248-539-9797. We always want to hear from you. Getting back to the basics is what I was thinking over the last few weeks. I was sitting down with a couple new clients, and I always reanalyze what goes on in the mortgage world as our industry has shifted here, and it's one of the things we talk about so often. Is I felt as if, and it started several years ago, maybe a handful of years ago, a dumbing down of our clientele out there. Where there's some lenders out there, there's some people in our industry that want to dumb you down, send you down the road so that you're calling them. It's more about their marketing than you understanding the home purchase.
No, it's about the knowledge that you can impart to people, about the communication versus the miscommunication. It's about all the things that you can do for somebody and help them be successful. Education is powerful. You have to sit down with your clients and really talk to them and find out what their goals and objectives are, what they want to accomplish, how long do they want to be in that house. That is the second question you always ask somebody. Okay, the first question is what do you want to do? Where do you want to live? Okay, what is the area of your choice? Where is your lifestyle going to be for your family? What area are you looking at? And then how long do you think you're going to be there? And then you could put a plan in for them to be successful. So we like to sit down with our people, Harvey. I know you do. We call you sometimes the entertainer at our office. You like sitting down with people, which is great because you need that personal contact and that personal relationship to make people successful. And we take the time to do that, and we will always do that. We'll always incorporate the technology into our business, whether you want to text somebody, email them, talk to them on the phone, you want to do it, smoke signal. I don't care what the communication is, but you have to establish that relationship and help people be successful. So, and getting back to what we were talking about earlier, home prices from 2017 to 2018 in the state of Michigan were up almost 7%.
Yeah, 6.9.
Okay, so almost 7%. That would be 6.9.
Yes, it would be.
And, you're looking at a market that has been very good for a long period of time here in the state of Michigan. So the quality of life here where we live in southeastern Michigan is phenomenal.
Yeah, across the United States, actually, it was the general average was 5.1%. I mean, that's unbelievable. If you're considering home ownership, definitely take a look at it. We see so many families out there still sort of trapped in that rental situation. Well, these new programs that are out, again, the MSHDA programs that are out, 3% down conventional programs. James, FHA loans with 3.5% down, you can get a gift from a family member. That is still one of my favorite transactions. And, there's so much information out there, but at the end of the day, it's about learning the process, buying a house that fits your family needs, and making it affordable, understanding all the dollars that goes into a house.
Oh yeah, I can agree. I absolutely. And guys like us, we deal with have to clean up the mess from other people that do not educate a buyer and send them down that wrong road. And it's heartbreaking to see that, especially with a first time buyer, because they're clueless to begin with, and then you send them on the wrong road. And I've seen bankers give advice that wrecks it to the point where I can't even fix it.
I usually ask first-time home buyers after they close on the transaction. I said, well, is this something you could have done over the, just without meeting me and everything? They said, Harvey, we asked 1,000,001 questions. So you were there to answer questions. So we still really are stressing education and knowledge. If you have family members out there thinking about home ownership or your kids, definitely have them call Capital Mortgage Fund.
Singular point of contact, gentlemen. Singular point of contact. You don't want to talk to 5, 6 different people during the transaction. You want to talk to one person.
Yeah.
And that one person is in charge of your transaction the entire time.
Yeah. I mean, some of these, bigger companies, conglomerates, you go from the acquisition, person to the now in process person, and there's 5 people. You don't even know who you're dealing with at that time.
Yeah, those are typically pretty messy situations. Hey, a lot of other things, getting back to the basics. I hope you all enjoyed your holidays and didn't spend too much money. But if you did, we are here to talk a little bit about debt consolidation loans. Again, what you're looking to do is use some of the unused equity in your house. Again, we're fortunate enough that in Southeast Michigan, many of you have recently purchased homes, or just our economy's turned around so well here that you have some equity in your house. And if you have some toxic debt, those high interest rate credit cards, student loan situations, or any bad debt out there, or if you're just looking to consolidate one of those adjustable rate mortgages, I'm continuously getting clients that had adjustable rate mortgages in the past. Now those adjustments are coming up here, and with the new Fed fund increase, yes, those rates are adjusting to higher than where the fixed rates are now. So definitely take a look. Call Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE and find out how you can save a lot of money. Also, a couple other things coming up. Gentlemen, you get your tax bills on December 1st. A lot of you sort of shoved it aside because of the holidays. I'll do it after the holidays. Well, Harry, that December 1st winter tax bill is typically due by February 15th. You do want to check with your city and your find out your municipality when the due date is. But if you have any trouble with getting those paid off, now could be a great opportunity to consolidate debt and go ahead and pay off maybe some back property taxes, things of that nature. Again, we have open lines all morning long, 248-539-9797. Lots to share with you. If you're looking at purchasing a house, this is the place you definitely want to talk to. We talked about it, too, at the end of the year. Some great opportunities in the world of investment properties. Kev, it's your bread and butter, but as the stock market's been getting beaten up, pretty good here over the last few months, boy, having some diversification in your portfolio is starting to look really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Kev's like, yep, I'll do that. All right, those banjos say that.
Go.
Yeah, we're up against a quick little break here. Here, keep it on 97.1 The Ticket. When we come back, all your phone calls, 248-539-9797. Welcome back to the show, 917. Good morning to everyone out there. December 8, 2018. We got some sunny weather for the next 4 days. High today at 32. They say it's going to heat up tonight to 18. And then maybe a little bit of nicer weather throughout the week. This is home buying season, Flo. You'll tell everyone out there. We'll take all your calls here on the Hardcore Mortgage Show again. 248-539-9797.
So, Harvey, I love spirited conversation with Flo and you guys about interest rates, because interest rates really... right now, when people want to talk about interest rates, again, we're at the low end of the spectrum on interest rates, and people are worried that, how high are interest rates going to go? And we had a texter just text in and said, you should explain to people what happens when inflation hits and rates start going up and how that's going to decrease home prices. Well, it's simple economics. And what this person's trying to get out is they're saying that, interest rates are going to go up. Yes, interest rates could continuously go up. How soon, how fast, it's all speculation.
Correct.
Okay?
It always is.
I can promise you this, they're not going to be at 9 or 10% next year. Okay, so we know that. And even if inflation starts ramping up, that in and of itself, okay, that in and of itself will not decrease home prices. What decreases home prices is supply and demand. The lack of people demanding housing, okay, goes ahead and will decrease a home price. And this person's saying, well, if inflation goes up and rates go up, well, that'll decrease the demand, and that could be true. But you're talking about numbers that incrementally are very low numbers. We're not going to wake up tomorrow and interest rates are going to be at 10%. It's not going to happen. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and inflation's going to be out of control at 5, 6, 7%. It's not going to happen. Now, history will tell you, and this is the boring part, and that's why I like history, because it's history. In the late 70s and early 80s, inflation was running rampant, and that's why rates went up to 15, 18%. I'm here to tell you it's not going to happen, and we could see a decreasing cycle in rates in late 2020, okay? Because this economic cycle, you've seen the last 2 years, and you've seen the last 2 years have, I'm going to use a term from a previous Fed chairman, irrational exuberance the last 2 years.
And Mr. Greenspan, you're quoting.
That's
Yes,
right.
he's talking about him.
And then the midterm election curbed that, and you're seeing where the stock market is going right now.
All right, welcome back to the show, 929. If you're just joining Mortgage Funding, got a whole staff full all weekend long. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Get a strong approval letter, talk about mortgages, talk about debt consolidation, everything involved with mortgages and purchasing a home or maybe even refinancing your home. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. I know Ronnie J's there with our entire staff all weekend long. We got tons to share with you here. Taking your calls at 248-539-9797. Ian Mason in the building here. Of course, Ian brought in Brooke, his partner here. We got Kevin McClellan in. And if you need some information about buying, selling houses, this is a great show to start off the year. Hey, let's move out to Steve in Royal Oak. Good morning, Steve. You got a question about getting out of debt.
Yeah, speaking of bad debt, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Talking to you.
Morning.
Thanks for taking my call. I got about $49,000 in credit card, and my wife bought a car, and I'd like to pay that off.
Yeah.
I got one of them Target cards and Kohl cards that, the interest rate's like 20% on them. And then I got loans from my credit union, and the total, like I say, amounts to about $48,000. And Royal United Mortgage, have you ever heard of them? Because they contacted me. I don't know how.
I don't want to say anything wrong. I don't know that company's name necessarily. So, yeah, but we'll talk about that after. But just tell me what you're trying to accomplish with them.
Well, what I want to do is borrow enough money to pay off the loans, and I'm a little skeptical because they want to lend me $61,500 when I only owe basically $48,000.
Okay.
And they have he gave me three different setups. 15 years, cost me $467. And I don't know if this is the APR or what, but the interest rate is 4.375.
Okay.
All right, let me start at the beginning. First of all, what is your property worth?
Well, I own my home. I'm in Berkeley. And
it's free and clear?
Yes, free and clear. It's probably worth $180,000.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it does need some work. We've been here 40 years, and I'm going on 68 years old, so, it's hard to maintain when you get older like this. But, I'm sure it's got, we're in a great neighborhood, got, best city services probably
exactly.
in the county.
So you own this house free and clear. There's certainly a significant amount of equity in there. Now, how were you referred to this lender? Was it a friend, or did they contact you out of the clear blue sky, mass mailer? How did that work?
So, I don't know. They contacted my wife, who's not here right now.
Okay, so what I would do this, I would do, and I'm a big believer in having a warm referral, some of some kind of relationship, and if you want to go ahead, and we get this all the time, and we do this for people all the time, what Harvey will do is he'll call you after the show, he'll run down all the numbers with you, and you can do a side-by-side comparison, and you can go ahead, and we can see. Now, I will say this to you, because this is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We've been on for 19 years. If we think you're getting a good deal from another lender, we will tell you you're getting a good deal and you should go with that lender.
Well, I know. I listen to you regularly, and you guys give really good advice, so I'd be comfortable working with you. So.
Great. So Harvey will call you and let you know. He'll put everything down. He'll dot all the I's for you, cross all the T's, and then you'll make a decision, and hopefully we can guide you down the right path. We just want you to be successful. I'm very familiar with Berkeley, okay?
Yeah, Steve, you're right around there. You're right down the street from us, from our office. So we'll look forward. I'll call you right after the show here, Steve, and run some numbers for you and give you an idea of what things would look like here if you just dealt with us, okay?
All right, that sounds real good.
Fair enough, and we're excited for you. Of course, Berkeley, one of the great cities that's really come back over the years. So many of these
Where did it go?
They reestablished themselves. I don't know, Harry.
It was great. What are you talking about?
Going to South Lathrop High School 2 miles away, we had some different names, but where did it go?
You guys weren't allowed to come to our school.
Don't start with us.
It's my school.
Southfield
I'm a
people
bear.
have something to say, but anyways, a lot of great cities have sort of reinvented their downtown areas. But not only that, a city like a Royal Oak, and of course there's the Macomb, there's different cities that have done this. They reinvented themselves. Younger people started moving in. Ian, as you know, they started building these downtown areas. Then they started filling in and knocking down some old houses, and now more and more people started building these gorgeous new homes, and that's really been the resurgence of a lot of these different communities.
Of course, downtown Birmingham, downtown Plymouth, downtown Northville, even Grosse Point's our small little quiet community. Everybody wants to be in the Hill, the Village, Mac. I mean, it's there's no doubt everybody wants a little bit of a walkable community and wants to make life a little bit easier, less traffic.
Yeah, you get them everywhere. Like every county's going to have a whole bunch of them. Romeo, I don't want to leave anyone out here, but definitely if you're in one of the cities that has really taken on sort of a new look. You might not have gone anywhere, Harry, but definitely it's taken on a new look where, some of the old, you'll see some of the old buildings were knocked down. They build these fresh new strip malls and whatever it is. But the great thing about it is we have so many great choices here across, again, Southeast Michigan, great schools, great communities, colleges, the universities are a plethora of universities to choose from. So great opportunities out there. I'm looking outside. The sun is shining bright. Last night, every star in the sky was out. It's a pretty good deal here in Michigan. Call Capital Mortgage Funding and find out how you can become a homeowner. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. All right, let's go to page 2 here, guys. Purchasing homes here. I wanted to talk about getting your credit score up a little bit as we are early in the year, and a lot of the families, Ian, as you know, for some reason, like you said, the numbers are only about 30% off. Maybe if homes sell about 30% less in the winter time. So maybe this is a little bit of an opportunity for some of the other families out there that have some credit issues to definitely get in front of that by giving us a call, and we could run your credit report, run the software program, and find out what we can do to get your credit score up, because some of these down payment assistance programs require minimum credit scores, and it's a very good time now before you dive into home buying season. Find out how you can fix your credit now.
You lost me with fix your credit, buy a house. I'm sorry.
Right. Credit scores are important, Harvey, as you mentioned, because it's all credit score based. Interest rates, which people love to talk about.
Yes.
Don't know a lot about it, but they love to talk about it, need a required minimum credit score. So the higher your credit score is, the lower the rate you're going to get. That is a fact. Fact check me on that, please. You will get a lower rate with a higher credit score. It only makes sense, right? If you've got great credit, you get the best rate. If you don't, well, then you might have to take a hit in rate. But there's, I think on your Mr. program, Harvey, it's a 640 credit score, isn't
Exactly. There you go.
640 credit. So if you're at 619 and you're looking at borrowing money in 2 or 3 months for that Mr. program, maybe we can get you up to 640 because we do that for free. Do not go ahead and subscribe to a credit repair service and pay $500. Don't write anybody a check. All right, we can help you with that. But the key thing is, in order to get your credit score raised, you must continue to make your current payments on time. Okay, because over time, if you continue to make your existing payments on time, your credit score will naturally increase. So there is no way, I'll repeat this for 2019 for the 30th straight year, we go something like this. If you have a collection account on your credit report and you don't make the payment, there's nobody that can wipe it away. It will continue to appear on your credit report. There's no magical, mystical formula, no magic dust that somebody can sprinkle and make it go away, and your credit report goes up. Your credit score goes up. We can help you with that. We'll walk you through it. Harvey is really good at that. We have a lot of people that are really good at that at the office.
Yeah. Now, here we also have mortgages for people that are still with those lower credit scores, and whatever their situation is, maybe they don't even have the time. They need to move out now. They didn't put their ducks in a row ahead of time. But we can probably still get you, and we've been getting so many families with low 600s into housing this year. Now, a lot of them are using the FHA program, Harry, and they do have a strategy. The strategy is get into the house now, make it affordable for you and your family.
And then convert it to a conventional loan down the road.
There you go.
It's a 2-step program. We do that all the time, and that is something that we can help people out with. But Harv, we understand the sensitive nature when we talk about people's credit. That is a very, very big hot button, and you see Credit Karma on TV all the time. Go get your credit score. These are consumer credit reports, everybody out there. They're not a tri-merge mortgage banking credit report. Call up the station, argue with me on that. It's not the same credit report. Not happening. So if you pull a Credit Karma that says you're 720, we pull your credit report that says you're 659. Okay, there's a reason for it. We gladly get into that with you, but don't get misled down the road from the freecreditreport.coms, Credit Karma, and all that. They're a great starting point. Don't get me wrong; they're a great starting point. However, we use a different mortgage banker's credit report.
There you go. The mortgage banking credit reports are a little bit different. It's a different model out there. So just learn the little nuances and little differences. Again, the key is that you're paying your debts on time and you're making your credit score as high as possible. Again, a higher credit score will always get you a little bit better interest rate. There's no doubt about that. 248-539-9797. Definitely have some open lines here this morning. Welcome everyone and all the listeners to 2019.
Happy New Year.
So if you're out there and you've got some great plans, we'd love to hear from you. Again, renovations have been happening for the last several years here. So many families now have this built-in equity. You want to call Capital Mortgage Funding. We'll offer you all different choices on the renovation loans, whether it be the Fannie Mae Homestyle loan or the FHA 203K loan. Find out all the different programs that will help you get your home repairs done. Again, these are for families that are already own the house. And also, if you find a house, this is one of the things out there. Ian, maybe this one I'll bring into the conversation with this one is definitely sometimes we'll go out there and the house is just missing something. I mean, you know it. You're there with the seller and the kitchen hasn't been touched. And it keeps turning off the same buyers. Everything else works with the house. The location's great. That's the most important thing. All these great things are going on, variables with the house, but the kitchen's a stinker. Hey, you can do an FHA 203K loan and close on that house in a reasonable amount of time.
Those loans are awesome. I wish they and you guys would market them better, because to be able to walk into a house and renovate it to your own standards. I mean, you're right. It's pretty simple. You don't like the kitchen, call a contractor, get a quote, sign you up for an FHA mortgage. Guy will come in and take care of brand new kitchen, just like Kevin does it.
There you go. I mean, they have to be licensed and insured, right? All the guys that are coming out to do the work.
It takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. You're getting a licensed contractor. The guy knows he's not getting his payout from the loan until it's done correctly and inspected by the FHA appraiser. Very specific about it, and they're very detailed. It's a great gig. I'm surprised it's not more prevalent.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, just closed one 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
so
great.
Anxious to see the house when it's done. It was a $90,000 house in Harper Woods, maybe half a block from Grosse Pointe. What was it, 34,000 worth of renovation or something like that. New kitchen, new bathroom. It'll be beautiful.
They're not going anywhere. I mean, here you are. The price is unbelievable. For what they're paying to live in that house, not only are they living in a brand new home, building equity, taking advantage of the tax advantages of home ownership, tax deduction, and the property tax deduction, also interest deduction and the property tax deduction. Now they're going to own something down the road. This is shelter. This is one of the needs you have.
Harvey made a great point with that. I think we were off air, so I don't think anybody got to hear it. But I mean, the reality of it is, one, this gentleman's payment is going to be less than rent. The house is brand new, and you get the tax deduction, which, Harvey, I believe you'd reiterate, that's something that's worth, almost a point in interest.
There you go. Hey, look, whether you're renting or owning, we come back, we'll talk about those numbers. Rent versus owning, keeping the money in your back pocket. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All right, welcome back to the show, 9:31. Good morning if you're just getting up. Be safe out there. Roads are dry. Sun is shining. It's going to be a pretty weekend here, a little on the cold side. You listen to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. That's where you call to get a real approval letter. And as we're at the break here, Flo Apke, professional real estate agent, only 32 years experience at St. Harvey. Let's get into this, talking about real approvals, setting people up for success. And there's no doubt, Flo, we talk about it all the time. Sometimes it's as simple as when you talk to a borrower, and they might even be shopping us or calling us around. And one of the questions I ask them, like, well, did you provide, if they tell me, Harvey, I've already got an approval letter, and I say, oh, good. Did you supply these documents, these specific documents? And the answer is no.
Or did they ask you as many questions as I did? Did they ask you, okay, how long have you been in your company? Okay, how long have you been doing overtime? Okay, how long have you been on commission? And, oh, what did you do before that? They're not asking the in-depth questions that can make or break a deal.
If your mortgage person is not asking all those questions, okay, and they're not making it easy for you, they're making it harder for you. If you think more questions are making it hard, exactly right. So what Flo really means is, Flo gets, here, let's go through the scenario. I hand Flo a pre-approval letter because I'm Flo's buyer. Flo looks at it and says, okay, it looks good. Flo just wants to make the call to the mortgage person or not and know that what's written on the paper is worth it. Okay, that's a real commitment, because she doesn't want to have to go back after the fact and explain to her seller that, well, it really didn't mean what it said on the paper. And we see that a lot. We get that call a lot.
And sellers are heartbroken when things go bad and there was a pre-approval. And that's what the first thing they'll say is, But they were pre-approved.
Well, so are the buyers,
Right.
too.
Right.
So are the buyers. They go,
No, the buyers were pre-approved.
Right, and the
Correct.
buyers are heartbroken.
And the buyers are
sellers-
heartbroken. They've wasted money.
Yeah, but
They've wasted money on an inspection, sometimes on an appraisal, and that's because nobody was thorough to begin with.
You got to be thorough. You got to ask those tougher
Nobody
questions.
asked the tough questions. Nobody made sure everything was in order. It always makes me feel bad when a buyer gets rejected well into the deal for something that happened 3 years ago that a good loan rep that was thorough would have caught way before.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
And oftentimes
reading the credit reading the credit report
Right.
is a really good thing.
There's a lot of things that can get fixed if you catch them.
Well, look at student loans. Look at student loans. Depending on what kind of loan you want, that student loan is going to be counted differently. Okay, so if you just go poof, 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 pop, pop, beep, do you approve? Hey, let's go. Here's your pre-approval letter. Okay, well, and the truth, I've had people that were approved by other people that I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't get that loan.
well,
what
that's
do you
the
mean?
biggest. That's
Text that keyword to 72881 before the end of that hour. Message and data rates apply. And you could win a $1,000 signing bonus. On 97.1, The Ticket.
All righty, welcome back to the show. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding in our 19th year. I want to welcome all our listeners back. And if you're a new listener to the show, be sure to give us a call here at 248-539-9797. We're always talking about mortgages and purchasing and keeping a roof over your head. I know it's not always the sexiest conversation on a sports station, but don't worry. At 10 o'clock, we'll have Pat Caputo coming in with tons of sports.
You know, sometimes you need to talk about your money and your financial future.
Still
your
better than the
security.
Lions.
Sometimes you do.
I always say that's Martha Fort's favorite show on 97.1 is the Hardcore Mortgage Show. I promise you that.
All right, well, we're going to get verification of that. I hope it's true.
I hope it's true. Tons of information to still share with you. We talked about the MSHDA program earlier. It is a great way to get into home ownership. So many families out there. We talked about rent versus owning. When you do the math at the end of the day, owning a house at let's just say $1,250 is like renting for $850. And then you don't have anything at the 850, and it's hard and harder to find as we run to the younger generation right now. They're realizing it quickly that wait a minute here, these rents are through the roof. A little 3-bedroom house in any community, like we'll even say like St. Clair Shores, for example, the rent on it is usually $150 to $300 more than home ownership.
It's unfortunate what the crash in 2009 did to folks. People seem to think that it's possible to lose on real estate because some of us did through that time. But the reality of it is, like a stock, long term, a house or a piece of real estate is a very large asset, and you're going to end up with equity. You're going to end up with a lot of equity, and one day it is yours to sell. And then
and you got these rents going up because so many investors now they bought these properties at such reduced rates back in 2009, 10, 11, 12. I have a lot of investor buddies that own big portfolios, and what they're doing now is, I talked to them. They said, listen, I'm an investor. I bought low. I'm selling high. I said, why don't you hold it for the next 20, 30 years? They said, I bought it for $15,000. I can sell it for $85,000 now. So what's happening is you have a shortage of rental properties as well. And that's why you're seeing this huge spike in rental rates.
rents are outrageous right now.
Well, there's just so many few. Guys are offloading their rental properties and putting them on the market. So now it's worth it to buy. I mean, now it makes sense to go ahead and get a mortgage and buy. Your payment's going to be less. It just is.
Yeah, at least run the numbers. At minimum, run the numbers and find out where you fit in.
I don't know why you would pay an inflated rental amount to live in something that's sticky, dirty, broken. Like with the MSHDA programs that are out there, and home ownership in general, it's crazy not to go out and purchase. And
at least investigate what you can do for it. Now,
the only excuse for rent is short-term housing.
There you go.
People relocating, getting a feel for the area.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, I totally agree. Rent something for a year, check it out, and know where you're comfortable, know what city you like, then buy.
100%. My buddy Jason and I were on the phone last night, just really talking about it. We went out. It was really fun over the last couple of weeks. The weather was good, and I not as busy at the office as typically as half the community seemed like they were out of town. But what was exciting was I got in a car, and he was looking at these 3 houses, and we went and checked them all out. And over the last 10 days, just trying to figure out, Is this something he needs to do? Now, he got in a divorce situation a few years back. I don't want to give away who this person is, but, now maybe to rent for a year and just figure out, is this the area he needs to be in? Will it work? He might be willing to pay a little bit more, $200-$300. He's like he said, throw away money, Harvey. He put one of the texts last night. You want me to throw away money, Harvey? No, but I want you to buy a house because you're going to stay here, because you're stable. Your job's here, your family's here, and you want to live in this area.
Probably adds to stability on top of it.
I think that's pretty sound advice, and I think you hit the nail on the head, Harvey. What did you guys do? You got in the car and you drove around and you visually looked at these places in person. Now, you can go on the internet, you can take a look at the pictures, you can read the bios on it, but what are they going to put something bad in there? Okay, it's like internet dating. What, is somebody going to put a bad picture of themselves on there?
The filters of the pictures and whatnot. You see it in person.
People always forget
Get
this.
in the
Real
car.
estate's
Right, get in the car and go look at the house. Get out of the car, walk around the property. Okay, don't stalk the neighborhood.
Right.
But go ahead and look at the property physically, and then if you're interested, then call the agent and get inside the house. I mean, isn't that the way it's done? Help me out here.
Real estate begins on the ground. It's location, location, location. Look to the left, look to the right, across the street. Where's the thoroughfare? I mean, in all fairness, I'm guilty of it, but I go through a ton of work to make homes look incredibly beautiful, bigger than they are, the grass. I mean, we take shots, we crop this, we put lights up, we fly drones, and, it's all in the name of marketing. You know, we're trying to get as much, but the reality is that when you flip to the buyer side, it's time to get out of the car, stand on the sidewalk, walk down the street. I always tell people, too, if this is the house you really want to own, during the inspection contingency, drive to the house in the morning during traffic, then drive to work.
Well, I wrote down a
work.
That's such great
Go
advice.
to the house, then go home, and act as if you're coming and going from the house.
The thing is, though, if there's major issues, I've heard you tell about your buyers or clients that you're not buying this house.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if there's a foundation issue that you had identified on one, and they were so in love with the house, just in good faith, you can't have them buy that house.
No, and with the trained eye, sometimes you can spot these things from the street, and the photographs are never going to show them to you.
Well, they hide so much.
Yeah, I mean,
just simple things like.
Do you remember the house near Morass and Mac we were looking at? We pulled up to and we're like, look at that wall.
Yes.
There's got to be something crazy going on. And it was a beautiful house.
Yeah.
But from the street, you could see it. How many times do we pull up and we're like, oh my God, the neighbor's house? There's no way
right.
You're going to buy this. So
there you go. Location's the key. Actually, the top reasons why people feel that their home values are going to increase. 20% of them said the desirable location. That is the number one thing.
One thing you can't change. Everything else is changeable.
Right. The other thing, yeah, you're right, because the other things are renovation improvements that they put into the house. That gave them a reason that they felt like their home was going to go up in value. The fact that there is little inventory in the communities they were buying in, supply and demand was one of the reasons. An improved local economy. These are all the reasons why your home could go up in value. But like you said, location is still the key in making sure your dollars are spent wisely on the improvements you do to the property.
If there's a shortage of inventory in the neighborhood you want to live in, you need to employ someone to help you. Have them go up and down the street, bang on the doors, ask if anybody's thinking about selling. Would you be interested in selling? Send letters to the neighborhood. I mean, with technology today, you can blanket, a neighborhood very simply from.
That's why, Ian, the number one question we ask somebody is, have you identified an area you want to live in? Where are you looking?
It's the most.
That's the
I try to narrow it.
One question.
It's my thing on the phone too. When I meet somebody for the first time, is they're like, maybe out to Telegraph, maybe up to 59. I'm like, no.
Let me get my map out.
Tell me about the places you'd like to go and why.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your lifestyle? Right. Where do you like to be? Where do you like? Because you know what, you can drive. You can live anywhere you want to live. Okay, your job is where your job is, but you want to live where you want to be, where you're active, where your family's active. What's your lifestyle? Okay, that's the number one question. Where do you want to live?
Yep, and we got tons of information also to share with you in regards to our great jumbo loan programs. There's so many opportunities out there. Again, if you're looking at a really, really nice house, you're looking at maybe with less money down, though, 5% down, 10% down jumbo loans. That's right. You can buy a $1 million house and put 5% down. So these are the type of things families need to know about, because that house that higher ticket house, that $800,000-$900,000 home, yeah, it might need to be completely renovated. You might want to keep some of that money in your pocket. Don't think that all mortgage lenders are the the same. Be sure to call Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We offer the best jumbo loan rates and all sorts of different programs to help you save money. Keeping the money in your pocket is the key, and deal with local lenders. Again, we're coming up to the end of the show. We'd like to hear from you at 248-539-9797. Harry told you earlier, there's no doubt about it, Michigan overall saw about a 6.9% home price increase from 2017 to 2018, just slightly beating the national average of 5.1%, and still a lot of great things still to happen here in Michigan as we find that more and more families seem as if they're coming back here again. Back in the day in the early 2000s, it felt like there was a generation that was leaving. Detroit was pretty bleak for a while, but those days are all gone by now, and the opportunities are plentiful no matter what community you want to live in, and including our great city of Detroit, as we see so many improvements across these different little regions. 248-539-9797. You guys got something here before we wrapping up in a little bit? You got to join us?
We talked about relocation, and I know we've got loan officers licensed in, all 50 states?
There you go. 50 states.
Michigan and Florida especially. I used to live there for a while, so I kept my license down there too, and it's a no-brainer. It's easy. There's snowbirds left and right, so if you're thinking about going to Florida and buying a house, why not sit with a local lender here and go over all the options rather than calling a guy in Florida or vice versa,
There you go. We can handle it just for you. Instead of dealing with a complete stranger, you're going to save a ton of money. Again, find out what the difference is between the different areas you're looking at. Getting a mortgage in Michigan is a little bit different than in Florida. Of course, down in Florida, they have the intangible tax. Again, find out the differences in the states that you might be looking to buy that vacation home or that retirement home.
Yep.
Great opportunities out there.
If you're looking for a good real estate agent, you can search hashtag Realtor Ian Mason on Facebook or Instagram and find me too. I'm happy to help relocate.
Ian, one of the great guys out there. An awesome job of marketing. You got the crazy signs out there. I know I called you earlier the voice of Grosse Pointe, but you're working that whole area over there. Anything on St. Clair Shores up and down there?
I'm a little different than most agents. I try to specialize in a small area. My what I consider PMA or preferred market area is about 4 square miles around 8 and Mac, which is Grosse Pointe, St. Clair Shores, and Harper Woods. It's where I went to school. It's where I grew up. I know everything.
Where you know the area.
Ian, thanks for coming on the show. You and Kevin McClellan,
Always
awesome.
good, ladies and gentlemen. Always
Good
good.
you guys.
All right, I see Pat out there, so he's coming up with sports here for James Lutz. And hey, for you, Brooke, thanks for coming in. We'll get you to talk a little bit. We'll mic you up next time, Brooke. Definitely for Harry Glanz.
Happy
I'm
New
Harvey
Year,
Freed.
everybody. Have a great 2019.
All right,
Thank
keep
you
it
guys.
here on 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.